Hello and welcome to the last video of 2020. This one's going to be a fairly laid back video and I'm just going to be talking about all of the games that I've picked up over the last 3 months. And to be honest, I did intend for this game pickup series to be a little bit more frequent than this, but because I've not been getting that many games recently, I've kind of had to wait so that I can actually have quite a lot to talk about when I eventually have quite a lot of new games. So because it was Christmas recently and I got quite a few games, I figured now's as good a time as any to wrap up the year with my game pickups. So all the way back at the beginning of October, it was mine and my girlfriend's anniversary, and one of my presents was Oddworld Stranger's Wrath for the Nintendo Switch. This is actually the limited edition of the game, so it comes with a keyring and some stickers, as well as this holographic case. So yeah, it's a nice little package, and it also has this sort of illustrated spine as well, so if you get the other two Oddworld games, you can make the complete picture. So yeah, that's a cool like collector's thing, I guess, if you want to go for all three of them. I've actually not played this, but I think the reason that I've not played this yet is because it's not that long ago that I last played the game on PS3. So when I next get around to replaying Stranger's Wrath, this is going to be the version that I do so with. The next game that I got in October was Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time. And this is obviously the PS4 version, and I got it for £55 from Game because it was brand new at the time. I'm kind of mixed on what I think about this, to be honest. I don't want to go into too much detail because I do plan on eventually doing a big Crash Bandicoot review marathon where I'll share my thoughts in a much more in-depth way. But yeah, I didn't really like this that much. I just don't think the level design was very good. I thought completing the levels 100% was way too difficult. Like the box locations were just like way too obscure. And yeah, I just didn't have that good of a time with it in general either, to be honest. I definitely don't think it's a patch on the original trilogy, or even on the Insane trilogy or Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. So, to be honest, despite it being a generally good game all around, it isn't a very good Crash Bandicoot game in my opinion. But maybe over time my opinion will change, and when I eventually get around to reviewing it, I might be a little bit more positive towards it. But yeah, for now I've only played it through one time, and I didn't even go for 100% completion, which is unheard of with a Crash Bandicoot game for me anyway. The next game I got was £12 from CEX, and it was Pikmin 1 for the Nintendo GameCube. And this one I was a lot happier with. To be honest, when I started playing this, I got myself thinking, why haven't I ever even tried this series out before? Because I enjoyed it so much. Honestly, if you haven't played Pikmin and you kind of like the look of it, or maybe you've played the Pikmin 3 that just came out and you're interested in going back to where it started, I would say definitely go for it, because this really impressed me. I had a ton of fun with it. For those of you that don't know quite what it is, it's kind of like Nintendo's attempt at making a real-time strategy game, but it's kind of much more fun than other strategy games that I've played, and I think a lot of the reason for that is obviously the cute character design and the kind of user-friendly way that Nintendo do stuff. It's very easy to understand, I guess. But as well as that, you're not just this god entity clicking around making your units do stuff. You actually fully take control of a character walking around the world, and I think that that's a much better way of tackling that genre. And it's weird how that hasn't been done that much outside of the Pikmin series, to be honest. But yeah, this has got me hoping that we eventually see a Pikmin 4 either on the Switch or whatever the next Nintendo console is. Because I would love to see this series get its time in the spotlight like it deserves. Now we're moving on into November, and this of course is when the PS5 came out, and as you can imagine, that kind of was all I was able to spend my money on that month because of how expensive it is. And as well as getting the new console, obviously I had to pick up a couple of games. So the first one was £70 from Game, which is an absurd price, to be honest. but it was kind of worth it because I am a big fan of this particular series, and it is of course the Demon's Souls remake. I've not played like too much of this, to be honest, just because recently I've been quite busy with work and stuff. But from what I have played of it, it's really good, and it's probably better than the original, just because it's exactly the same as the original, just with better animations, a smoother frame rate, and better graphics. So yeah, really, if you liked the original, you're almost guaranteed to like this. What I like about this as well, though, is that the online was turned off for the original PS3 version, so it's nice to see the online community active again through this remake. And of course, the online community is bigger than ever because Dark Souls came out after Demon's Souls, and Dark Souls was really the game in the series that popularised it. So Demon's Souls was left in this weird state where it was never particularly popular and was more of a cult thing. But now, obviously, it's in the mainstream, so the community is bigger than ever, and it's nice to see a fully functioning online community. The other game we got to coincide with the release of the PS5 was Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is the Ultimate Edition that comes with the remaster of the original Spider-Man game on the PS4. So yeah, this also costs £70, just because it is the Ultimate Edition that comes with the first game as well. I think you can get a standard edition that's quite significantly cheaper than this. I think it's like the standard £50. But my girlfriend's favourite game of all time was that original Spider-Man game, so we kind of had to go for the Ultimate Edition. This officially actually is my girlfriend's game, so technically I shouldn't really be holding this up. But at some point I'm definitely going to get around to playing it because it looks really good from what I've seen. My girlfriend's actually close to getting the Platinum Trophy on this, so she's almost 100%ed it, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I've played a little bit of it, kind of dabbled in it a bit, and it seems quite good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to properly playing the original one and then moving on to this one as well, because I want to kind of experience that story before the inevitable sequel comes out. So now we're moving on to my December pickups, and the only game that I got outside of Christmas presents in December was quite early on, and I happened to come across this in CEX, and it cost me £30, which actually seems like a reasonable price. So it's FZero GX, which I believe is the newest F-Zero game released in the series. Maybe there was a portable one released after this, I'm not quite sure, but yeah. As far as home console releases go, this is the last one in the series. I've not actually got around to playing this yet either, but the reason for that is because I'm probably gonna do a review of it at some point. I don't want to commit to saying that I'm definitely gonna do that, but it is something that I want to do. And the main reason that I want to do that is because this is actually developed by the same people that created Super Monkey Ball, the original 2 games on the GameCube. So that's kind of piqued my interest in it, and I'm interested to check it out and see if it's at all similar to the Super Monkey Ball games. As well as that though, I've heard that this is an amazing game in its own right, and I'm excited to play it just for that reason as well, to be honest. As well, I've been trying to sort of build up my GameCube collection as well, and this was one of the high priority games that I wanted to get for it, so I'm really happy to have this in my collection. I think the next high priority GameCube game that I want to pick up is Pikmin 2, because I kind of want to play through Pikmin 1 and 2 before playing the third one, which has obviously just come out on Switch. So yeah, that'll probably be the next GameCube game that I get, but for now, I'm happy with F-Zero GX. So now we move on to the actual Christmas presents. And unlike most years, this year I actually didn't ask for a single video game, mostly because I already have quite a big back catalogue at this point, and because I pretty much have all the games that I want. Or at least I thought I did anyway, until I got some as presents. So we'll start with this one, which is the only PS5 game, and this one actually technically isn't one of my presents. This was actually given to my girlfriend as a present by a family member, but we've both been playing through this together actually in co-op, because I also got a second PS5 controller for Christmas as well, so that's proven useful for this game, and we're also going to be playing through the new Overcooked. But yeah, for now, we've been playing through Sac Boy, and it's been actually really good. It actually really impressed me because I wasn't really expecting much going into it. Obviously, this is kind of like a spin-off title from Little Big Planet, and I feel like that series kind of went downhill towards the end of its life. But to be honest, it's kind of been revitalized through this game. So this is kind of just like a 3D platformer in the style of Super Mario 3D World. It's got quite a lot of like elements going on. It's got a lot of customization, some sort of very light beat 'em up elements, obviously elements of like a collectathon. And yeah, it's just been a blast to go through so far. Every level sort of feels unique in the way that some are based around music, some are just straight up about exploration, some give you a more like defined objective, like to herd these animals into pens and stuff. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this one, and I can't wait to dive back in and finish it, to be honest. Seriously impressed me. Sticking with the PlayStation line of systems, the only other PlayStation related game that I got for Christmas was Crash Mind Over Mutant, which is actually the final Crash Bandicoot game that I needed to complete my collection of the home console games, at least. I still have quite a lot of the portable games to get, but in terms of the main series console games, I've now actually got them all, which is really good. I've actually been looking for this game just like in shops for ages, so it was really nice to receive this as a Christmas present, because now I've got the full collection and I can eventually make videos on them all without having to buy a load of games to complete the collection. This game is kind of notorious for not being that good. I think generally this one is regarded as being better than the previous one in the series, which was Crash of the Titans, but even then I don't think this is that fondly looked at anymore. I think that's because this was one of the Crash games in the series that moved towards being a beat-em-up and just went completely away from the whole platformer thing where Crash obviously started. And yeah, I'm probably not gonna like this very much because I generally don't like beat-em-up games. But yeah, we'll see when I eventually get around to reviewing it, which I inevitably will at some point. Now, all of the remaining games are actually for the Nintendo Switch, so we'll start with the one that I've actually wanted for quite a long time, and yet for some reason have just never picked up despite it being really cheap, and that is Dead Cells. I've played this quite a lot. I've been playing it in handheld mode on the Switch, which it's actually really well suited for. It's like a roguelike platformer, kind of similar to like Spelunky or Rogue Legacy if you've played either of those. But this one's actually somewhat more mechanically complicated than those, because you get like a variety of weapons and like upgrades and like abilities, and they carry over even after you die and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. I've been really enjoying my time with this one. I'm definitely going to finish it at some point, and it's probably going to be difficult, but I'll get there eventually with it. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this. It's the perfect game for the Switch. The next two games that I got for Christmas for the Switch, I might as well talk about at the same time because they're a part of the same series, and they are the two remaining Oddworld games for the Nintendo Switch that I needed to complete the trilogy. So yeah, this is really good just from a collector's standpoint because now I have all three of them, and like I said earlier, if you put them all together you can actually make the full picture, which is really cool. Don't know if you can see that there, but yeah, that sits on my Switch shelf just like that, and it looks actually pretty good because it's directly in the middle of the Switch games, so it makes a nice like little divider. So yeah, really happy to have the full set of Oddworld games for the Switch because obviously I'm a massive fan of the series. I've covered the series extensively on the channel, even covered the weird portable entries in the series. So to have all three of them playable on the Nintendo Switch is amazing. And it's particularly good with Stranger's Wrath and Munch's Odyssey as well, because these are obviously the remastered HD versions, and I didn't actually own physical copies of the HD version. So now I've finally got them in my collection sitting on my shelf in the form of these limited edition Switch versions, which is just amazing. And then the final Switch game, and the final game in general for the year that I've picked up, is none other than Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Now, I obviously said earlier that I want to play through Pikmin 2 before I play through this one, and I still stand by that. But the reason that this is in my collection is because it's actually for my girlfriend. I got her this for Christmas because she played the demo on the Switch and really enjoyed it, so I figured I might as well get her the full thing, and then maybe down the line she'll let me have a go on it as well after I've finished Pikmin 2. So yeah, I'm looking forward to eventually giving this a go, but for now my girlfriend has been really enjoying it, and I think it's the go-to game to be playing at the moment as well, so I'm happy she's enjoying it. But yeah, I think that about wraps up all of my game pickups over the last 3 months. I think going into the new year I'm going to try not to pick up loads of new games, just because my back catalogue is getting kind of ridiculous at this point. I'm going to really only be picking stuff up if it's for a video, or if it's something that I actually genuinely really want and I find a good price for it or something. But other than that, hopefully I won't be adding too many games to the collection, because I actually want to sit down and play the stuff that I've already got. But yeah, I hope you had a really Merry Christmas, I hope you have a really good New Year, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to see more stuff like this coming soon, and also leave a comment down below letting me know if you've picked up any good gaming related stuff recently, and until next time, bye!